Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Stars shining.
Welcome to A Midsummer Night's Dream. The play opens in Athens, where Duke Theseus is about to marry Hippolyta, the Amazon queen. But first, he's got some Duke business to conduct. Aegeus wants his daughter Hermia to marry Demetrius. Hermia refuses, though. She loves Lysander and she won't marry Demetrius. So Theseus tells her she better think about it before she makes a decision, and off everybody goes. Once they're alone, Lysander tells her they can run away together and get married at his aunt's place, and she enthusiastically agrees. They share the news with Hermia's best friend Helena, who is madly in love with Demetrius herself. Helena thinks, I know how to make Demetrius love me again. I'll tell him that the woman he loves is running away with somebody else. That'll work. We then visit some working men of Athens who are preparing to put on a play for the wedding of Theseus and Hippolyta. Bottom the Weaver gets the lead, but wants to play all the parts because he's just that good. He's actually a terrible actor. Flute the bellows mender has to play a girl, and he's not happy about that because, as you can see, he's got a beard coming. The others are just happy to get parts, and Quince has to keep them all in line as he's both director and stage manager. The action then shifts to the woods, where we meet the mischievous Puck. He works for Oberon, the king of the fairies. He's married to Titania, the queen of the fairies, and they're having a fight. One of the problems is that Oberon just had a fling with Hippolyta, the Amazon queen, who's marrying Theseus. Meanwhile, she was having an affair with, Theseus. They've got that sort of marriage. But even worse, Titania is the foster mother of a little boy who Oberon wants for a page, and she won't give him up. They yell at each other and stomp off in a huff, Oberon swearing revenge. He tells Puck to run and find a special flower whose juice will make a sleeping person fall in love with the first thing they see when they awake, because he's going to use it on Titania. While he's waiting for Puck, he witnesses the arrival in the woods of Demetrius and Helena, with Helena pleading with Demetrius to love her again. Demetrius refuses and leaves her there alone. Oberon feels sorry for her. And when Puck returns, tells him to find the Athenian youth and place the juice on his eyelids too. Meanwhile, he finds the sleeping Titania in the woods. He places drops of the potion on her eyelids and leaves her there in the woods. Lysander and Hermia turn up in the woods as well, on their way to his aunt's place. They decide they need to have a lie down, and Lysander tries to talk Hermia into cuddling. Hermia swears that she's not that kind of girl, and so she and Lysander lie down on opposite sides of the forest glade to have their sleep. They go to sleep, and Puck turns up, and he finds an Athenian youth, so he places the potion on Lysander's eyelids. Helena and Demetrius then turn up, and of course Lysander wakes up and immediately falls in love with Helena. He follows Helena, who is following Demetrius, leaving Hermia asleep and alone. She then wakes up and goes off into the woods to find Lysander. The woods are also where the guys have come to rehearse their play. Puck turns up, and then Bottom wanders off into the trees. And Puck turns him into a donkey. This, of course, scares the others, and they run away from the monster and back to Athens as fast as they can. Then Bottom stumbles upon the sleeping Titania, who wakes up and falls in love with him instantly, commanding her fairies to serve him. The second half opens with Puck telling Oberon about what happened with Titania and Bottom. They then see Hermia accusing Demetrius of killing Lysander, which she denies, and she goes off and leaves him. Lysander lies down to sleep, and Oberon, furious that Puck has messed up, sends Puck off to find Helena. Then Oberon places a potion on Demetrius's eyes. Puck leads Lysander and Helena back to the spot, and Demetrius wakes up and falls in love with Helena. Hermia comes in and discovers that nobody is in love with her now. Hermia fights with Helena about Lysander. Meanwhile, Lysander and Demetrius are both fighting about Helena. Puck chases them all round and around, totally confusing them, until they all fall down asleep, and then Puck juices Lysander's eyes. Titania, meanwhile, is fussing over Bottom, who is loving it. Since she gave Oberon her changeling boy, he releases her from the spell. And she wakes up, restored to her normal self. After Oberon and Titania leave, Puck restores Bottom to his human form. And they're all just lying down and sleeping in the woods. Meanwhile, Theseus and Hippolyta turn up in the woods for a day's hunting before their wedding, as one does. But instead of deer, they find the 4 young lovers fast asleep. They wake them up, and everyone is in love with the right person. Theseus tells Aegeus to suck it up and accept Lysander as his son-in-law, and announces that all 3 couples will be married that night, and they all return to Athens. Bottom then wakes up as well, and he too returns to Athens, where he's welcomed with joy by his friends as they prepare for their performance at court. The wedding night is here, and after the ceremony and dinner, everybody needs something to do before they go to bed. They watch Bottom and his friends perform their very bad play. And then everybody goes off to bed. The fairies then arrive to bless the wedding beds after everyone has left. And that's all, folks.
Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me.